Hi, how are you? Yes, that is a picture of me, but I also have Bionicle 2 on DVD, so you know, this is legit. So look, I'm still in college. I don't have a degree or anything. I can't fix a car. I can't fix your teeth. I think I can do chest compressions. Stay alive. But I can teach a mean karate class. I know that one for sure. It's a pretty great sport, honestly. I even won a deviated septum one time. No, Colton, it's okay. No, buddy, don't worry about it. No, don't. If you've ever been involved in a karate class before, if you know anything about the sport, you'll know that there's this phrase that gets thrown around a lot. That wouldn't work on the street. And you know what I gotta say to those people? You're right sometimes. I'll give you some credit. A jumping, spinning hook kick to the brain is not going to work if somebody wants to steal your wallet. I figured I'd go over the list and dispel some myths for you and tell you about martial arts that do work on the street. And the ones that, don't. Some of these martial arts are fucking bullshit, so let's just keep an open mind and have a good time here, please. Just gonna do a disclaimer here real quick. In some martial arts, and even if they're bad, you know, maybe the name of the one that I said is bad is the one they have on the sign, but like they do it differently and they just use the name. Totally possible. So, you know, don't listen to my medical advice, talk to your doctor. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. You gotta go to the place to really see if this is true or not, okay? Let's start with one of the big boys today, Jiu-Jitsu. I'm pretty sure, other than K-Dog over there, everyone's heard of this one. You've probably seen this kind of Jiu-Jitsu. That kind of Jiu-Jitsu actually has a dad. Or maybe a brother, and it's a different kind of jiu-jitsu, but they all have this, it's the same name. The one you see in MMA and the UFC, that's this one, that's Brazilian jiu-jitsu. If you want to sound like you know what you're talking about, you call it BJJ. Shout out Jason at Genesis for that one class I did. It's the one that people really recognize, the one to think of when you say jiu-jitsu, if they know anything about it. It's two dudes rolling all over each other and trying to grab each other's wrists and put each other to sleep. You know, you get in there with your seatbelt grip and you whisper a sweet lullaby in their ear. Baba, black sheep. Have you any wool? Only people who practice are allowed to make jokes about getting consensually choked by big, sweaty men. And I would never do that, but it's a very funny joke. For real though, BJJ is actually a really cool sport. It's definitely something I want to try more in the future. And in terms of works on the street, you stand a good chance. I give this one a 9 out of 10. One of the criticisms here is that when you practice BJJ in a gym that is not an MMA gym, they don't have punching. You're not allowed to strike. Maybe you're not so ready for punches, especially from standing. Again, I'm not a BJJ black belt. Shitty thing is though, Dougie the drunk, he's gonna punch you in the head. He doesn't care. He's hammered, he's had 10 Michelob Ultras, he's ready to fight, and he's not ready to play by the rules. Now, I mentioned that BJJ has an older brother, or maybe a dad. That's JJ. Jiu-Jitsu is one word in Japanese, and it's 2 words in Portuguese. I don't want to say it's like completely different, but it's not the same thing. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is mostly stand-up work. It's not a prolonged fight on the ground, but it is still about breaking wrists, breaking grips, manipulating the body, and trying to put people to sleep. They do train for punches and things like that, but I figure if you're like a pretty strong guy and you've practiced for a long time and you're working with people as realistically as you can, this would be great if you were in like a bar fight where laying down on the ground is not your best solution. I made a couple videos about Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. If you haven't seen them, check them out up here in the corner. We also have a YouTube channel now, shout out Mission Budokai. Out of 10, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is probably a 6 or a 7, maybe a little higher if you practice really seriously and you have sort of the physical attributes that give you a hand there. Jackie Chan! Jackie Chan. This man revolutionized stunts in filmmaking and revitalized Hong Kong cinema. R.I.P. Hong Kong. The work he's done for filmmakers everywhere, including guys like me, especially guys like me who do the martial arts as well, can't be understated. What made his and his friends' brand of filmmaking so special is that they did all their own stunts, and because they were all classically trained in martial arts, they were able to like pull off pretty realistic fight scenes. They had quality stunts, they were willing to take risks, and they would like actually like beat each other up sometimes. Lots of broken bones. Being from Hong Kong, being from China, these guys, they did Kung Fu. Kung Fu is an ancient Chinese martial art, and most of the martial arts you know about nowadays, most of the famous ones like karate, taekwondo, and company, are all based on Kung Fu. My style of karate in particular comes right from Kung Fu. And if you've ever seen a Shaolin warrior monk, one of those orange guys with no hair, they do Kung Fu. And that is pretty cool. If you've ever watched a video of Kung Fu being done, you'll notice it's really flowy, it's really intense, they move very quickly, like they really never stop moving. And it's a really nice balance between grace and leverage and absolutely gonna fuck you up. If you're really well trained in Kung Fu, I would say Kung Fu is probably like a 6 or a 7 as well. Okay, I got a question for you. Do you like ninjas? The number of times that someone has told me I am basically a ninja, or some kid has come in to karate and I'm talking to their mom and their mom's like, he just always said he wanted to be a ninja. It's a lot. I get called a ninja probably 10 times a year at least. Now I have some good news and some bad news about ninjas. The good news is they were probably real. The bad news is ninjutsu, as it is practiced today, ninjutsu is fake? Is a nice word. Do you, dear viewer, know how the CIA carries out its assassinations and brainwashing schemes? Probably not. I don't work for the CIA. Ninjas are kind of the same. You don't go up to the CIA and hand them your resume and then they send you to go, I don't know, overthrow some government or something like that. They kind of pick you and they're real subtle about it, and they pick you and then you go and then you do it, right? Ninjas are the same way. If you're gonna kill the emperor, you don't go, yes, I am the emperor killer guy. If that is an illegal thing to say, I am not going to kill the emperor. That was a joke for this video. The ninjas are like gonna be pretty hush-hush about it, and they're probably, you know, they're gonna be like running around and they're gonna be like killing people. Shh. You know, it's gonna be, they're not gonna be like, oh, ninja school, learn how to kill the emperor. They're not gonna do that. That's not gonna be what happens. You can piece together what they did from artifacts and from accounts, but you're never gonna get it 100% right. They're doing it in secret. Why would they leave a paper trail for that? They wouldn't do that. That's stupid. There are a few people who train nowadays who claim to have lineage back to these groups, but it's pretty bogus. More than anything, even if your great grandfather was a true ninja, how can you know that what you're doing nowadays is what they did then? Not to mention, if the goal of ninjutsu is to be secret and to like assassinate people and stuff, what's the point in that? What's the point in practicing how to shoot blow darts and run up walls? I don't think they ran up walls, but ninjutsu's fake. It's not real, okay? It would be fucking awesome if it was, but it's not real. I want it to be real. It isn't real. 0 out of 10. If you learn how to punch, maybe 1. Legitimacy points, -1 out of 10. 0 out of 10. Okay, now I'm sure you've been eagerly awaiting for me to get to my favorite martial art, so that I can debunk it for you and prove myself wrong. So, here goes. I love Taekwondo, but it wouldn't work on the street. Yeah, the curriculum, it's pretty sparse and it's mostly a competition sport. Anytime they become mostly competition sports, they sort of lose their work on the street thing, except for maybe BJJ. But even then, like I said, you don't punch a lot in that one, so that could affect it. Olympic Taekwondo doesn't have forms, but there are form competitions. Fighting the air with rigid stylized techniques is certainly pretty badass, but you know, it's not like punching a guy. That being said, Olympic Taekwondo is fighting. If you've ever watched the fights, you see they kick pretty gosh darn hard in that sport. You can win by knockout. It's point fighting mostly, where you score body shots that do make contact, but not devastating contact. But you can win by knockout by kicking, or I don't know if you can punch to the head, but I think you can kick to the head. The problem is because it is a restricted rule set, it doesn't emulate any sort of real world fight very well. People don't fight with their hands down in real life. People don't bounce around in real life. Like, don't get me wrong, it takes wicked athleticism and skill to be able to do this kind of stuff. I don't want to get kicked by that guy. It doesn't translate well to an actual like street interaction where Dougie's allowed to kick you in the nuts. You can't kick in the nuts in Taekwondo. I'll give it probably a 5 if you're a good fighter. Now TKD has a cousin from Japan, perhaps also a dad, and her name is Karate. Now this one's my favorite, so of course I'm gonna qualify it a lot, and I'm gonna make it like not seem so terrible, but I'm just gonna have to admit it's not perfect. There are a few different kinds of karate. In the Olympics later this year, which let me just say, I am jazzed right up to watch the Olympics with karate in it. Frickin' heck yeah, dude. You'll see kata, which is the air fighting, where you do routine moves and fight the air and stuff. It's hard, it's still hard. Like I said before, it's impressive and it takes athleticism, but fighting the air, pretty freaking useless for an actual, you know, freestyle street fight or something like that. The other kind is kumite, that is people fighting, that is actually less effective than Taekwondo's point fighting, because in karate, like, they don't even wear helmets in karate at the WKF level. You can't hit people in karate. You can't win by knockout, so you don't get that practice of actually feeling somebody die underneath your foot. Karate kata, karate kumite, traditional kumite and kata, I got probably a 3 out of 10 or a 4 because I like it a lot. The athleticism will help you out. It's a restricted rule set. Anytime there's a restricted rule set, you're not gonna be as good as if you are out where Doug is going to poke out your freaking eyeballs. There's another famous type of karate out there called Kyokushin. It's really widely practiced. It's a full contact style of karate where they fight bare knuckle. If you know who Georges St. Pierre is, that's actually how he got his start in the martial arts, and that's why he wears a gi if he comes out and fights in the UFC. His booby says jiu-jitsu though. I don't know why he's got that, but he really loves karate. These guys are slamming each other. They learn how to do that really kind of old school, bruising each other, just trying to hit as hard as you can. Most of the shots are limited to here. They do a lot of leg kicks and stuff too, which are, man, oh man, they're devastating. You cannot punch to the head. I've heard it's because it's too dangerous. I would agree, but you can kick to the head, which is the weirdest thing in the entire world to me, that you can crack somebody's brain open with your heel, but you can't punch them in the head. It's more challenging to do that, but it is a lot more devastating. So I don't know if the story is true about danger or just convenience. These guys do crazy stuff too. Like if you see martial arts demonstrations, if they'll like break baseball bats over their arms and like over their heads and shit, the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but somehow also really impressive. I give this one like a 6 out of 10. Okay, there's a lot of these freaking things, so we're gonna do a rapid fire round. Aikido, it's like jujitsu, but it's cuter. I give it a 2. Krav Maga, crazy ass fight to the death martial art developed by the Israeli military. 9 out of 10. Hapkido, basically Japanese jujitsu if it was from Korea. I give this one a 3. Sumo, 1. If you're small. 4 if you're big. American style catch wrestling. It's like BJJ, but wide. I give this one an 8. Judo, Olympic sport. Tight grappling. Great if you're a cop. I give this one a 7. Muay Thai. This shit is brutal. 8 out of 10 if you're good at it. You can do a spinning kick to someone's brain. Nothing on this list got a 10 out of 10. If I was gonna give anything a 10 out of 10, but like, nothing's perfect, it would probably be MMA. Obviously, mixed martial arts. It's the best parts of all those things I just mentioned. You can probably hold your own in a street fight. So, 9.5 out of 10. Just careful though, if they have a gun, cause you can't punch bullets. Thank you for watching my video. I want to keep doing new stuff like this all the time. So if you have any ideas for videos, please comment down below. Follow me on Twitter @CONNORDOMAN. I will see you next week. Thanks for coming.